I think that Romania has embarked on a road with no return. And, we're condemned to succeed and essentially transform our economy into a digital economy and our society into a digital society.
Hello, the Recursive community. My name is Elena and I am an innovation reporter. Today I have the pleasure of interviewing Romania's Minister of Innovation, Research and Digitalization, Sebastian Burduja, to find out more about Romania's plan for growth and innovation. Hello, Minister. Thank you for joining us today.
Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure.
After 5 months into the job, what can you share with us about the process of digitalization in Romania? What are your administration's most important projects in this sphere?
It's a bold and ambitious effort to digitally transform the country. It's not just digitization, it's not just digitalization, it's digital transformation. And it encompasses essentially the whole of society. Obviously, we're following very closely the DESI index, and we know we have a bit of catching up to do with the European averages, with some exceptions where we're doing very well. A number of female graduates of ICT specialties, number of ICT graduates generally, the connection speed and availability of networks also doing still quite well. That said, obviously, on digital public services, we have the cloud, the government cloud project, massive investment, close to 600 million euros, and it's supposed to, protect data, ensure a much higher degree of transparency and accountability. We have put it into law that the citizens will have the right to know and will be notified when the government will access their data. And so they will know who, when, and how that data is accessed. Also, we're working on a project that frankly should have been done a long time ago, which is the digital identity of every Romanian. Because obviously the government needs to know that it is indeed me who is requesting a certain public service. And it's an ongoing project. We hope to be done at the latest next summer, hopefully with a demo version by the end of this year. And it will ensure that basically through facial recognition, every Romanian will be able to log in to any government platform and possibly even make it available for private sector institutions if that's something of interest to them. Beyond that, on digital skills, another core topic, because we could have the best technologies in the world. If Romanians don't know how to use them yet, it's not going to do much good. So we have money through the National Recovery and Resilience Plan. It's a very cool idea to essentially repurpose libraries in small communities, rural communities, marginalized communities, and put a computer in there, put a 3D printer, and educate through digital skills 100,000 Romanians. That's just one example. So a lot of catching up to do, a lot of work to do, but I think it's one of the boldest efforts of digital transformation in the region, if not globally.
What is the value of the IT sector for the country's economic growth?
It's tremendous, and thankfully it's increasingly recognized as such. I think today the IT sector contributes about 7-8% of GDP. And if you think about it, there's only about 200,000 IT experts in the country that are generating this enormous value. For the longest time, Romania has had a fiscal facility essentially to encourage work in the IT sector. And I'm glad to say that even though through the National Recovery and Resilience Plan, the Commission told us to do away with exemptions, the IT sector looks like it is not targeted by this push from the European Commission. So I think the facilities will stay, which means that we can keep some of these talented Romanians, attract workers from abroad. And actually, we're working on new legislation. I haven't announced it publicly yet, but here it goes, to extend those benefits to citizens from third-party countries beyond the EU, as well as to IT specialists in the public sector.
Much for that. I'm curious to find out what do you believe for the ministries, the minister believe about the impact of UiPath in Romania?
It's huge. I mean, symbolically, it shows that we can do it, that there can be a Romanian unicorn, although frankly, Bitdefender is probably already a unicorn, and we know they're in the process of listing on the New York Stock Exchange. I think that's going to be a big success. I recently came up with this idea of 30 by 30, which is 30 unicorns by 2030. It's very ambitious, but I think you tend to see this in other countries. Once things get going, the impact can be very quick, and the growth can be exponential. So, first of all, it's symbolic, and it's an encouragement to many young Romanians to say, "Hey, we can succeed in Romania." It's true that UiPath obviously got funding from outside Romania, eventually went to the US, but it's a process that other Romanians can follow as well. Get initial funding here, friends, family, and fools, get some angel investment, get some VC funding, and essentially towards the end go to the States and get the big bucks. And also indirectly, I mean, there's a lot of people in UiPath made a lot of money. And some of that money is, through stock options, and they're investing. So they have cash on hand, and we already see that they're investing in new tech companies in agriculture, in the real estate sector. So we already see movement in the economy thanks to the wonderful success of UiPath.
Are you looking to build different bridges in the region to attract the attention of international investors or companies, global companies looking for research and development destinations here in Romania?
Certainly. I think Mark Zuckerberg said, it's much better to build bridges than walls, or something like that. And I think especially in our region, I mean, our different countries share this tradition of strong STEM skills and, math, IT, computer science. So I think we should work together and position Eastern Europe as the powerhouse of IT minds in the world. I think it's going to be helping us all. One thing we specifically did since I took office is we strengthened a lot our partnership with the Republic of Moldova. We launched this idea of a single digital space with the Deputy Prime Minister Iurie Țurcanu. Amazing man. I highly recommend him as a future guest. And we're going to benefit from their solutions for e-government. They're going to benefit from our solutions in cybersecurity. It's a match made in heaven. And we also have this plan to take over the world, in that we can position Romania and the Republic of Moldova as the providers of performing last generation solutions for e-government. What they've done, I think, is beyond what even Estonia has done. I may be a bit biased, but certainly when we put it all together, the bigger Romanian market, in a joint reputation of excellence, I think we can do great work. And I think that model can include other countries in the region too.
So we have seen Romania move forward with a digital nomad visa. We know that to attract more global talent. You have mentioned more movement in the digital IDs sector, and
right.
The corporate tax rate is around 16%.
Yeah.
How startup friendly is Romania?
I think it's, based on all the indicators we look at, I think it's quite friendly. We're working on improving legislation where we seek to provide startups with a special status and not just consider them as any ordinary SME, small, medium-sized enterprise, to allow for more flexibility. But even from that standpoint, the trade registry has made huge progress, and they're about to make even more progress on going digital and essentially being able to open up a company and close a company online. So it's not that far away. I think within a year or two we'll be there. They'll be there. We're there to support them. We're also noticing, and I've seen studies on this, a massive inflow of investment in startups. I think 2021 compared to 2020 doubled the investment to startups throughout all stages. I think especially seed, but also some pre-seed. Maybe less growth in pre-seed. And we also looked at a World Bank study that assessed the innovation ecosystem in Romania, and they told us essentially two things. One is that we have many companies that are started, but many of them die out in the process because they don't have financing in that high risk pre-seed, early seed stage. Mm-hmm. So we're working on this idea, which is a bit crazy for Romania, but other countries have done it, of a Romanian innovation fund, where the government will match the funding by angel investors and venture capital funds that are vetted, that are reputable, that do the entire selection process of startups, and the government will put in money into equity and essentially help these businesses overcome that hurdle, that initial hurdle, and get to large VC funds and later on even bigger investments so they can become the next unicorns.
If you were the minister to change again, how will you pass the leadership baton? How will you make sure that your ideas stick around for the following years?
I think that Romania has embarked on a road with no return. And, we're condemned to succeed and essentially transform our economy into a digital economy and our society into a digital society. And it's good that this is a message that's supported at the highest level of government by the president of the country, by the prime minister. And you see it in their openness and focus on attracting investment in this field and making life for entrepreneurs easier and more attractive here in Romania. You also see a lot of initiatives from the civil society and the private sector. I don't think that you can digitally transform a nation just from sitting in this seat, in this chair. You have to involve other partners. And so in a lot of the things we do, we are trying to encourage and nurture initiatives that are led by the private sector and civil society, because they will go on beyond political changes. They will set the agenda. I think you have a very cool precedent with the education laws. You have the One Voice Alliance that is not led by government. It's led by non-governmental actors. And the Ministry of Education was invited to attend, to listen, to take notes, to adopt the good ideas that were shared. And I think, we're encouraging the same in the digital space. And, I can't announce it yet because it's not, I'm not behind it. It's really from outside this ministry, but there will be an initiative that's similar to that, and that will also ensure continuity beyond political changes.
Thank you for watching. My name is Elena, and I invite you to read the stories that shape stories on our website.